these young men are trying to do what I want to do. It's hard for them to understand some of the things I'm asking them to do after they, were involved in a system that was almost a 180-degree turn. So I have to learn to be patient out there with them. What I'm getting on them for is something like not blocking out. Nothing to do with, it's kind of like even Joel. Joel Wright has got to take some shots for us, I think. He's a talented player, but what I'm telling Joe is he's got to be more efficient. Joel averaged 17 points a game, 17 and a half, led the league in scoring if I'm not mistaken. And I'm saying, Joel, but you took too many shots to do that. Now, if you can do that on, say, 2/3 of the shots you did last year, now people are going to respect your game a lot more. And I'm trying to sell them on that. Like, that's an example of what I'm trying to sell. I'm trying to sell them that defense can be fun, and we can get a lot of dunks off of turnovers. We can get 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s off of turnovers. And, in my opinion, even the Miami Heat play some great defense. It has been the San Antonio Spurs, and then the Miami Heat got together. So this stuff about, defense dominating, I think defense dominates a lot of championship programs. And your offense has to be more efficient than ours was tonight, but our defense can help our offense. And that's what we did a lot at Stephen F. We did not win with the most talented teams in the league. I'm not saying we didn't have talent, but like, for example, last year I thought we had the 4th most talented team in the league, and they won the league. And I think they worked together, they played hard together, they defended well, and on some nights when we weren't shooting the ball well, we still won games based on our defense and rebounded. I put those two kind of hand in hand. So I'm trying to get them to buy into this thing, and there was some sloppy play offensively speaking. Defensively, I think you all are aware that the NCAA or NCAA has put in some rules that I think the Sul Ross coach would agree. Sometimes there's some silly fouls out there being called that do not need to be called. The player was not in, but the referees are asked. Matter of fact, if there'll probably be a lot of talk about these officiating rules this year, and my guess is at the end of the year they're going to reevaluate. So some friends of mine have gone into exhibition game scrimmage telling me they've shot, like we shot 34, they shot 34. One friend of mine said, coaching friend of mine said there was 80-something fouls shot in one of their games. So I don't like it. I think it puts too much at the free throw line. I don't think people come to games to watch free throws being shot. I think they come to watch action. And so we'll have to work and adapt. We didn't shoot the ball well tonight, but my inside people did. If you take my front line people, they shot almost 50% or around 50%, and yet my perimeter people shot probably 20%. Except Phil. Phil shot 3 for 4. Probably needs to shoot it more than that. But anyway, we're growing, but it's a work in progress. It is. And I just hope that, like I said, I hope that they'll continue to buy in. As I told them, the people are tired of losing here. This is a university that has great potential. We ought to be winning, and we ought to be winning some conference titles at this university. And it hasn't been that way in a long time. But this is my second book, so to speak. When I was at Stephen F., they had 2 winning seasons in 13 years when I got there, and this program has 1, plus a 500 season. So it's very similar, and it's hopefully not going to take a lot of time. And the thing I'm worried about is that we got to go play Houston, then we bring SFA in here, who's not bad, fellas. And I know my ex-players are going to kick my rear end, that's for sure. And then we got to go to Oral Roberts, and then we got to go to SMU, and SMU is vastly improved. So I hope that I can keep these guys on message, even though we may take some hits early. That's my biggest fear. I'll open it up to questions.
Coach, talk about how much the team has grown with your system just in the past couple months.
Well, I think defensively they've grown. I think offensively we still have some growth to do. And let me tell you something, that's probably some of my fault because I emphasized defense so much early. So I think they've grown. Like you saw some guys come over and try to get charges. Mm-hmm. They just got there a little bit late. you know. And like I said, he saw me angry out there, and that was more over not blocking out, getting beat on penetration, silly fouls. That's what I was getting on him about. Not that a couple of times I got on some people about bad shots, but most of my gripes were about fundamentals, not about you shouldn't have shot that shot. I think I can remember 3 shots I got on a player about, maybe 4.
We were watching the level of some of your frustration going up. The jacket comes off a little bit.
That sometimes happens. Yeah.
And then in the second half, you were okay for a while, and the jacket came off again.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. So I probably shouldn't even wear a suit.
Amani Gant was your leading scorer. What can you tell us about his game tonight?
Well, I'm on Amani's case because I think I just had this talk in the locker room. Fellas, you think I'm mad? I'm on you when I'm expecting more of you than you are expecting of yourself. Your expectations are too low. I don't think that's a problem in our education system. And whether it be athletically or whether it be academically, we are not demanding enough of our students. They can give us more. They're not stupid. They can't be lazy, but you can break that. They want to play. That's why you'll see me use that bench. You don't want to listen to me, sit down. Just sit on the side here. I think you'd rather be playing. I'm telling them, if I'm not talking to you, you need to worry. If I'm not getting on you, you need to worry. If I'm on you, you're very vital to our plans. And so Imani, going back to your question about Imani, I think he's got some talent. He's only a sophomore. Remember, he was a 6'5" postman out of high school, and he grew to his present height, so 2.5 inches. Probably gained 25 pounds. He's a great young man. All the kids in that room are good kids. They have some immaturities like some people 18 to 23 years old will have in college, but they're not bad people. They're good people. They just have some bad habits that I'm trying to break, and I will use whatever means necessary. I've told him I can teach you or I can train you. You pick it. So I can talk to you, you listen, you try to do it my way, or you refuse to do it, and I'll train you. I said, training is not the right word. That's not the way I want to work with you. I want to teach you. But we will train you if need be.
How would you compare your team's, effort and ability from the Texas Southern scrimmage to now?
Texas Southern.
Did you guys?
Sam Houston. They actually did a good job up at College Station. They really did. Sam Houston's a good basketball team, and we beat them by 7. We probably would have beat them by 11 or 12 and did a couple of dumb things in the second 20 minutes to knock it down to 7. So we beat them by 7 the first half. We kept the score. We played 2 20-minute halves, and then we played a 10-minute half and beat them by about 20 to 12 in a 10-minute half. Mostly the players who were not playing very much in the first 2 20-minute halves got to play the 10-minute half. So, Sam Houston's a good basketball team. They're picked 3rd in the league, and I thought they were going to be picked 2nd behind Northwestern State. So I came away feeling pretty good about that scrimmage, on a neutral floor. And Sam Houston, Huntsville's 1 hour from College Station. We're 2:15. We had a longer trip, but there's reasons for that. It was our turn to go there, but their gym wasn't available, so we picked College Station, making it more of our home court advantage, since they didn't have to go very far. And that's how we worked it out.
Do you notice a big difference in how your guys performed tonight?
Well, I think some of it tonight was excitement about playing in front of home fans. It was a close scrimmage, no fans. So I think there was a little bit better listening skills going on in College Station. But that's part of growing up. I tell them, you got to. It's us. It's about us. We love to have all these people here, but we cannot focus on the crowd. We got to focus on the task at hand, the job we're going to do. And I was pleased. I want to say that publicly. I was pleased with the crowd tonight. People came to watch us play. I told our players, play hard, play smart, play together. These people, they're going to go talk, and they're going to tell 2 or 3 people, man, they look good tonight, or they didn't look good tonight. And word of mouth is a great way to get it going. So hopefully some people will come back and bring a friend. I will play about 10. people, I think, consistently. At least, 8 to 10 minutes each or more. So I don't think my perimeter played well, with the exception of, and I don't even think Phil played as well as he did say when we scrimmaged Sam Houston. I think the perimeter players play was down tonight versus it was at Sam Houston, or when we played Sam Houston.
But you talked in the first time we met earlier, a couple weeks ago at the press conference about how you didn't want your kids to be casualties. Don't be casualties. I mean, there's still keeping that mentality with these guys, and has anybody been a casualty?
Casualty?
Uh-huh.
Not yet, and I hope not going to be. But I mean, some of my practices are brutal. I mean, I get after them pretty good because, they'll come practice well on Monday, and on Tuesday I don't like practice. There's some days I come home and kiss my wife and want to talk to her in 30 minutes an hour, and there's sometimes I come home, kiss my wife, and say, "Now leave me alone for a while," because of practice. I want to chill or gel, whatever the case may be, whatever word you want to use. So, and she's been a good anchor for me. She says, "Remember, when we talked and you took the job, I told you there's going to be some growing pains." And there was at SFA too. We were 9-17 my first year, and I thought I could have ran for mayor and got the job. And then we were 13 for 15, and I thought we made the tournament, finished 5th in the league, and I mean, I'm losing record, and these people are as happy as can be because they hadn't been to a tournament in 5 years. And we got the 5th seed, and they were ecstatic. And I'm thinking, golly, expectations are low here. But we got it to where we wanted it to be. But it took a couple of years. I don't want that to happen. I think Joel Wright, Phil Hawkins, some of these seniors and some of the kids we brought in are talented enough that I just hope we don't, my expectations are not for a 9-17 or whatever, that type of season. I told the players that we need to finish in the top 5 in our league at least. And let's hope we can get that done.
You've emphasized team basketball a whole lot, and you had 4 guys scoring double figures, and you had 2 more who had 8, and that could have been 6
I like
guys.
that very much.
Yeah, that's
Pleases me greatly because they all feel like they tend to buy in when that happens. And I want to tell you something. I think Joel is trying, I really do, to get everybody involved a little more at this point in time. Now, he made some silly turnovers, and the ball seemed to get away from him at times, but 13 rebounds is a lot of rebounds for 25 minutes. And he shot it 11 times. There's probably a couple of shots I would tell him to take back. But he is a talented player. I'm just telling him, for example, he likes to put it on the floor and spin move. I'm saying that move ain't going to work. You just take it to the hole hard. If they come help, jump stop, either shoot it or pass it. Take that spin move out of your repertoire, because you're going to get a bunch of steal. They're going to steal it from you, or you're going to get some charges on you. If he's been doing it for 21 years, it's going to be hard for him to do that.
Do you need Joel Wright to be a rebounder given your size?
Yes. Well, I think Joel Wright. I need Joel Wright. I'm trying to tell Joel. Joel, if he scored 17 and a half last year, if I'm not mistaken. I said if you'd score 15 and a half and you'd get your rebounding average up a little bit, and we won more games, you'd be a first teamer. I said, look at you, leading scorer, and they voted you second team. What does that tell you, Joe? And he didn't reply back. I think I'm trying to get him to think about that. It's not about scoring; it's about winning. I had 2 players last year. Stephen F. Austin, average under 10 points a game, get second team all conference. And they also were on the first. They were not only got second team all conference. Hal Bateman, Antonio Bostic. They were also voted on the 5-man all defensive team. And I'm trying to tell these players that, that's an honor. I mean, the more we win, the more of you are going to be honored, and there are more people going to want to fill those stands. And that's what I'm trying to sell. Sell this, get it done.
Can you comment on these comparisons? I kind of felt like you were running a UCLA style offense and kind of a Spurs style defense.
No, we're running what I call motion offense. Single post motion. We're not where we need to be right now, but we'll get there better. I hope. I have some confidence, pretty good confidence. We'll get there. They're trying. I would like to see them, like Joel shot faked and got 2 for 3 turnovers there. I want them to do that, just don't turn it over. You know, take it to the hole, get fouled. And these new NCAA rules, I need my perimeter to try to take it to the hole and get touch fouls, get to that free throw line and knock it down. You know, I was disappointed in our free throws tonight, 17 for 34. Like I told the players, you scored 81 points and you missed how many 1-and-1s left out there. You know, if you would have gone 25 for 34, that's 8 more points, that's 90. I think you guys averaged somewhere around, what, last year? I didn't average 90, you know, so.